and welcome to a new Pixelmator tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how you can achieve a very interesting comic strip effect. Now, just before we get started, I want to go ahead and show you the before and after. This is the image before, and the image right now is the one after. As you can see, the comic strip effect is very interesting, and we even added a speech bubble with the new shapes feature in Pixelmator version 2.0. Now, this effect is not too difficult to achieve, so let's just get started here. Go ahead and open up your picture with Pixelmator. Now, once it's opened up in Pixelmator, you want to go ahead and click on Image, and you want to go into Hue and Saturation and desaturate this image by putting the saturation slider all the way down to negative 100%. This effect will only work if the image is black and white. Now we have this image black and white. We want to go ahead and Command J to duplicate this layer. And we want to go into Image. And we want to go ahead to Brightness and Contrast. Get the brightness to up to 50%. And the contrast all the way up to 100%. We'll get something like this. Now what we need to do is we need to go ahead to Filter. We need to go to Sharpen. And click on Sharpen once again. And get the sharpen to be 100%. Now we have this, which is looking very good at the moment. Now we need to go back to Image. I'm going to click on Levels right here. Get your black to about 25% and your gray to 27%. Now we have something like this. It just adds a touch to the image. As you can see, we now have two layers. One is with all the effects added in, with the levels and the filters. And the one below is just a basic black and white image. Now, go ahead to your eraser tool right here. And what we need to do is set your diameter by just right-clicking on the window and set your diameter. And we need to get rid of the white around here. Simply brush around here. And you should do this carefully, so whenever you're near the subject, just simply right-click and put the diameter lower. I'm just rushing just a moment. I bet you guys can do a much better job. So as you can see, we have the white removed out of the area, and this is looking pretty neat at the moment. Now what we need to do is we need to hit Command J to make a copy of this layer. And we need to go into Filter, Blur, and Gaussian Blur. Now get this to about 4 pixels. Now get the blending options to darker color. As you can see, it's got a bit brighter. Now we want to actually darken the area around the subject. So what we need to do is we need to get our brush tool right here. It's basically up to you what diameter to set. It depends on how big your image is. If your image is large, you can cover more area by setting the diameter much higher. But in this case, it's not too big. It's pretty small actually. So we'll leave the diameter this much. Now go to your brush settings, into your color, and make sure it is all the way to pure black. So this. Now simply darken the area around. I'm rushing this at the moment. So once we've done something around this, we can go ahead and put the opacity down. This will add a slight touch. So this will add more brightness to the subject and will darken the area around, which looks very nice at the moment. Now, after this part, we want to go ahead and create a new layer by clicking on this plus button right here. Rename the layer to Comic Effect, because this is where the comic effect comes in place. Now we need to go into Filter, Generator, and Clouds. So the primary color should be white and secondary black. Once you've created the clouds, click on OK. Now once we've done this, we want to go back to Filter. We want to go into Quartz Composer and then choose the Color Pencil option. Now we have this. This is looking very nice at the moment. Now what we need to do is we need to go into Image, Brightness and Contrast, and put the contrast all the way up. Then we need to go to Image, Levels, and just lighten the image by putting the grays a bit lower. Now, lastly, we can go to our blending options and change it to Overlay. Now what we can do is we can lower down the opacity until we get an effect like this. Now what we can do is we can add a little bit more to the image by creating a speech bubble, just like a comic strip. Go ahead and choose your ellipse shape tool and draw it. Now once we created this, we want to create that arrow to guide to my face. So click on your pen tool and draw it starting from the shape. Finish drawing. We can click on the fill option right here and bring this up to the shape to make it look like it's joined. As you can see, this is looking very nice now. But if you want a curve, go back and Control click or right click and click on Make Editable. Now you'll have these red pointy areas in the corners now. Double click on this one to make it curvy, and we can adjust the curve. This is basically the end. The image is looking very nice now, and we have now created a comic strip effect. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. See you for the next one.